Bitch, I'm outside of some movie. Blue cheese, I swear I'm addicted to blue cheese. I gotta stick to this paper like blue sleep. Bitch, I'm by my chicken like it's a two-piece. You can have your bitch, she a groupie. She just swallow all my kids in a two-seat.
What is up, my peeps? Welcome back. Today's session is a good old push day workout. Chest, shoulders, and tries in my handy dandy garage gym. So, as you can see, it's still pretty cold out. That's why I'm wearing my hoodie. So it's currently around, it says 45 degrees in the gym, but we'll manage. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my pre-workout, get my dynamic warm-up going, and I'll see you guys in a few. Okay, so just got done with my dynamic warm-up. Now we're gonna go into some more mobility type workout. So basically a warm-up after the warm-up. And you're asking, why you warm up so much? Well, I'm not that young. I'm 45. I'm gonna be 45 this summer. And in terms of warming up, I like to dot my I's and cross all my T's and make sure that I stay injury free. Being an athlete all my life, I sustained many injuries. So of course, I got to take precaution, especially when I train so hard. So now I'm going to do a giant set, working on basically warming up the muscles that I'm going to be using on today's workout. So I'm going to start off with some dumbbell external rotations and then moving on to banded incline push-ups, tempo push-ups after that. And then I'm going to go right into plank to push-ups. So the external rotations is going to warm up the shoulders. The incline push-ups, banded incline push-ups, is going to warm up the chest. You know, it's even though it's warming up the chest, being on an incline puts less stress on shoulders and chest. Being, you know, you're not taking on all the weight. And then plank to push-ups, that'll warm up your tries. So we're going to go ahead and get into that. I'm going to try to do maybe like 3 to 4 sets of it. So I'm going to do about 6 to 10 reps with the external rotations, 6 tempo reps on the incline push-ups, and then plank to push-ups, 5 reps per arm. So let's hit it. Okay, so just got done with my giant set. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. Bench press. I'm going to work up to a max set of 1 to 3 reps. So I'm just going to go as heavy as I can. My bench has been lagging, you know, but it's all good. Been battling a little bit of elbow tendonitis, you know, shoulder, but yeah, I get through it. But we're going to get into this now. Is my little setup on here. Notice I put band on the bench to prevent me from slipping and missing groove. So we're going to go ahead and get it started, and let's go. Okay, so just finished up bench. Ended up with a 325, and from the look of how that rep went, I have plenty more in the tank, but I also have a lot more workout to do today. So since we're done with that, now we're going to move on to back down sets. But this time, I'm going to do my back down sets a little different in that I'm going to do speed bench with chains. Okay, so I'll do about 8 sets of 3 reps, taking about 30 seconds rest in between. And a lot of you have questions asking, what's the significance about doing bench or any exercise with chains? So in this particular exercise with bench, what it does is with the chains, it's lighter at your weakest point, which is right when the bar's on your chest. But as you progressively push up on it, the chains begin to unravel, making the weight heavier. So this is an exercise that'll improve your lockout strength. It's light at the bottom and it gets heavier and heavier as you get stronger. So now the purpose of benching with chains is to maintain the same speed from the bottom at your weakest point up to the concentric or top half of your movement. Now, if you can maintain the same speed from the bottom to the top while the weight is increasing, that'll significantly improve your lockout power and in turn improve your bench max, that is. So we're going to go ahead and get into this again. I'm going to do about 8 sets of 3 reps, taking about 30 seconds rest in between each set. Okay, so as you saw, I just knocked out the first 4 sets of the bench with chains. I had 225 pounds on the bar, and with the chains, it was a total of about 265 up top. So now I lowered the bar weight to 185 with an added 30 to 40 pound of chain. So at the top, it's gonna be close to maybe 230 around that, 235 around that. But obviously with these next 4 sets, even though the weight is lighter, now I have to attempt to get the speed, increase the speed on the way up. So I'm going to try to maintain that for another 4 sets of 3, taking 30 seconds rest in between each set. So let's go. Okay, so just got done with 8 sets of bench with chains. Gonna move on to some weighted dips. I like doing these with chains. Preferably, I prefer having the weight around my neck, because the way I like to do them is to lean a little bit forward to get the bottom of the chest and while working the triceps. So we're gonna do about 3 sets of 6 to 12. And yeah, it's gonna be weighted dips with chains around the neck instead of having it on the waist, because every time you put anything in your waist while doing dips, it gets more of your shoulders and traps because it forces you to be more upright. Having the weight around your neck, you're able to perform it with a slight lean forward, getting the middle to bottom of the chest as well as your triceps. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. Again, 3 sets of 6 to 12 weighted dips. Okay, so just got done with weighted dips. Gonna go ahead and move on to shoulders. I'm not going to do anything crazy with shoulders. I'm going to do mostly raises and lateral raises and all that. I'm not going to do any overhead presses because I pretty much, the whole workout up to this point have been a lot of pushing. So I'm just going to do a bunch of raises. I'm not going to bore you with the specifics. So we're just going to get right into it. Okay, so that's it for shoulders. Again, like I said, nothing crazy, just a bunch of raises, high volume, superset, everything. I'm gonna move on to some triceps now. Again, same thing, nothing too crazy. All I'm gonna do is some barbell skull crushers, and that'll be it, and that'll be it for the session. All right, so let's get into this. All right, y'all, that's all she wrote. Again, thank you all for tuning in. Thanks for watching and staying this long. Again, today was my push day workout. As you saw, put more emphasis on the bench portion of it, going heavy on that. But for all those, I'm going to include all my other accounts on here, like TikTok, Instagram. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Wish you all much success, abundance of health, and God bless. See you soon.